Popcorn Junkies on Oscar night. Now the reason we haven't reviewed the South Korean film Parasite any sooner is because a lot of our Popcorn Junkies followers have been saying, have you watched Parasite? When are you going to see Parasite? Why wasn't it in your list of top films for 2019?
Oh, okay.
It's only just come out, can you believe it or not, in the UK. So Parasite is a film described as a black comedy thriller by Bong Joon-ho. Well, he's made two of the highest grossing films of all time in South Korea. Snowpiercer and The Host. But I came to this knowing absolutely nothing about him.
No, I must more.
Knowing that I've liked some great South Korean or Korean films in the past. Old Boy, Train to Busan. You know, I mean, they're just a few, but there have been countless other. It's a very rich filmic history of South Korea. And so, I was coming to this thinking, okay, is this film in any way going to live up to the hype?
Yeah.
Everyone's been going nuts about it. It won the Palme d'Or at Cannes. It's won everything going. It's won Best Pictures at the BAFTAs, at the Golden Globes, you name it, everywhere. Going into it, what were your feelings then? What were your expectations specifically?
I kept thinking this is not going to be as good as the hype.
Yes.
And one of my reasons for that, and I would quite like for a second just for us both to talk about the trailer.
Right.
Which, having seen it, I think the trailer was a masterstroke, an absolute masterstroke in keeping stuff back.
Right.
And the trailer took us to halfway through the film and no more. It stopped dead. I mean, of course, we didn't know that, but I think now, looking back, and as I came out of the cinema yesterday, I thought that was a masterstroke.
Right.
I mean, I kept thinking the hype, it's hype, but at the same time, you know that all these people aren't stupid.
Yeah, exactly.
And you sort of I kept thinking, well, what can it do that is so brilliant that it's better than, and then all the films that you and I have seen that we think is brilliant.
I've read a lot of reviews and a lot of sort of synopses of the film. I've sort of done I think they've all universally failed at being able to describe fundamentally what the film was about.
Yeah.
And I don't think in describing what the film was about, you even create a spoiler. So I'm absolutely at a loss as to why most critics and synopses of this film fail to describe what this film was about. It's about two families on either side of a class divide, one wealthy, one extraordinarily unwealthy, and it's the way in which the unwealthy family manages to, in a sort of parasitical way, inveigle themselves into the lives of the richer family and live off of them, and potentially live vicariously through them. I thought this was quite a compelling and interesting thing.
Yeah, oh no, I did
I
in
was
the same
drawn
way.
in, and I was liking, because I thought at first I wasn't going to be convinced. Quite quickly I got onto the idea that, right, I see what's happening here. We're slowly going to get each member of the family attached to the rich family. And I really enjoyed the cleverness of us getting there.
Of it. Yes,
what do you think of all that?
No, I thoroughly enjoyed that. I thought that was what it was going to be. Only, except that I knew by the running time that the whole, they'd infiltrated themselves into the family, and all of them had in the end. They'd taken over each job.
But how did you find that process? Did you enjoy that?
I loved
for me,
it.
I thought
It was done so well.
It was done very leisurely.
Very leisurely. It was done perfectly. You know, the boy. I mean, one of the brilliant things about this film was that whatever one thought of the family who replaced the richer family, there was nothing evil about them. They were just sort of. They were more doing what came up. They were doing survivors. And the boy who gets the first job. Yeah. Who's the son.
He's the sort of idealist, I thought.
He's the idealist, he's the dreamer, he's nice, except that you sort of get hints that he might not be as nice because of the girl that he's teaching.
Then it's the sister.
The sister,
who's
amazing.
The art teacher.
Who she becomes the art teacher. And then the father. By the time we get to the father, then you sort of, because they have to sack the chauffeur that they've already got, and so things are getting a bit more serious then.
Yeah, well, they're starting to use more underhand procedures to get into the job.
And it involves people who are losing something.
I mean, at this point, I was enjoying it as a comedy of manners. I thought, oh, this is interesting, this is kind of cool. There was a part of me where I was thinking, okay, so we're about an hour in now, and I know we've got another hour and a quarter.
Yeah.
And essentially, this has to run out of steam.
Yes.
And something has to go wrong.
I thought that exactly.
Yeah.
Can I say the moment see if it's the same moment as you?
What, that you thought what?
that I thought something's got to happen
Got to
dramatically.
go wrong, yeah, go for it.
And it's in the bit where they're all getting drunk in the room.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
You know that from there then something dramatic.
Well, you know that they're at the point that they've let their guard down. So effectively, just as a grab, this poorer family have so inveigled themselves into this richer family's lives, and they're all working as in support roles. So like nanny, art teacher, English tutor, and driver. And they've literally bumped off employment-wise, not literally, all the other former members of staff, and they now are making themselves absolutely crucial to this family.
Yeah.
As I got towards the end of this film, without giving anything away yet, I would have said it was a film of 2 parts, 3 parts, but in fact it's a film of 4 parts. It's a film in 4 chapters.
It turns from a comedy-ish of social manners and what
social observation,
and vaguely political, blah blah blah, to a horror film with it in the simple expediency of having them all letting their guard down, relaxing, and then somebody arriving at the door, and then in that moment, you sort of all the tropes of what could be. I mean, we don't know at this stage, and maybe I'm not. It doesn't become a conventional horror film. In the way that somebody knocking on the door, the whole somebody going to the basement, all of that sort of stuff are the tropes of horror films, which was partly why I thought it was so clever. It shifts a gear.
It's like cuckoos in a bird's nest, isn't it? Living their life.
Yeah.
I thought, okay, where's the sinister trick going to come from in here? It was pretty sinister when the sister started to blow the peach fur.
Yes.
The fur of a peach, which the original nanny was allergic to. So they were doing this in order to create this idea that she was suffering from TB.
So that the door...
So I thought we very cleverly parked all the kernels or origins of really quite sinister ways of getting rid of people.
Yeah.
I felt at this point it turned into a thriller where the old nanny essentially comes to the door, knocks on the door when they're all there having a party.
Yeah.
And wants to get something from the house or something.
Yeah.
We realise what that is. And when she comes in, we're in a sort of... It is edge of your seat, isn't it? It's edge of your seat. You're like, oh, shitting hell.
For a start, she doesn't look anything like the woman
that
left. She looks,
like a drunken psycho.
Absolutely.
She looked like a Korean Kathy Bates.
Yeah.
And let's not forget, this house that they're all in, the rich family's in, has been designed by an architect. And the original housekeeper was the original architect's housekeeper. So she would have known about the basement before the other family did. So that's how she kind of did what she did.
Yeah.
And she's been keeping her husband locked beneath the house.
Yes.
In a subterranean vault.
Yes. Which sounds fantastical, and you'd think, oh, well, I'm not going to buy that. But you do buy it.
You do.
Yeah.
And so we've got this woman arrive. It's all very thrillery. I'm thinking, oh, shitting hell, it's all getting a bit stressful, tense. Their deceit's going to be found out. The reveal's going to happen. The family's going to come back early.
Yeah.
Oh my God, it's all absolutely hideous.
Yeah.
And then we're taken into what I did think turned into sort of a gruesome, strangely horrific portrait of this man who's been living like a troglodyte.
Yeah, troglodyte, good.
Underground.
Good description.
Bashing his head against the light doing Morse code.
He's lived there for how long did she say? 3 years?
A long time.
A long time. And he's only survived because she was working there, his wife,
bringing food
down to him. She says at some point, it's very funny, and nothing we've said so far can convey the humour. It's very often, like she said, he only needs something once a week sort of thing. There's all this sort of thing that...
It's incredibly dark humour.
Very dark humour. The house in itself has got a personality.
Yeah.
And it's so beautifully shown, the contrast between the air and up above and where they live, which is subterranean. And as we discover, the guy, her husband, is even more subterranean than the family was subterranean.
Yeah, exactly. So you've already come down one layer to the family beneath the wealthy family, but then beneath them there's the untouchable class,
which is very clever. I
thought was very clever because and it completely broadsided me.
And me.
And I was like, flipping out, hang on a minute, I've got to get to grips with this whole other world that's going on beneath this house.
Yeah.
And then our poor family, the original poor family, I thought they were going to go into a mode of just trying to eliminate and kill the family, the woman and the man beneath, but they didn't. They
Which
just
would
went
have
into
been simpler.
It would have been far simpler, but they kind of went into a strange damage limitation situation, didn't they?
Yeah, and that's why I think in a way there are many things that are so clever in this film, because nothing is as it seems.
No.
Nothing is simple.
No.
That it would have been, I mean, easy and maybe maybe less believable, but it would have been easy to somehow have the people that in the basement killed, because basically they'd discovered their secret.
Yeah.
But no, they all get consciences all of a sudden.
There's a lot of violence.
Yeah,
There's a lot of
there is.
struggling, a lot of fighting, a lot of kicking, a lot of hitting of heads against walls.
Yeah, well, it became because I was going through all the genres that it was in my mind, and I'd gone comedic, thriller,
comedy,
horror,
thriller,
and then
horror.
this was slasher. It moved into slasher film. Yeah, I mean, it did.
No, it
sort
did.
of.
It did. It was bizarre. What did you feel about the family? How did you feel about the individual characters in the family? Did you identify? I mean, with the main family?
I thought they were so good. I mean, I almost thought, it's not that I thought the main guy was the weakest, but I thought the mother was amazing.
She was kind of like, she just didn't give a fuck.
She didn't, but at the same time, you could see that in the sort of key scene where the maid that's come back is appealing to her as the two women, and she's saying, I've been here a long time and you must feel this. You could see that it wasn't just a case of thinking, oh, just go away, get out of it. She was thinking, she felt something.
What
for
did you
her.
think of the husband, the man, the
I
driver?
found him a much more difficult.
I felt really sorry for his character, because there was a lot of talk in this film from the upper class family about how he smelt.
Well, I thought that was a masterstroke as well.
And I thought
the
as
smell.
a detail, it reminded me of my nan.
I mean, when do you ever get that in a film?
No. And it's such an important detail, the sense of smell about some people that you just can't lose. And so this odour actually stuck with him somehow, for me, throughout the film.
Yeah, he's dressed himself up, he looks the part, he's got all the sort of things to say that he can drive a car well, and that he's got... So he's looking the part.
Yeah.
But after all of that work and whatever, there's still this very slight thing that when the husband of the rich family talks to his wife, he will mention that there's a slight smell, which is not like their smell, it's different.
Well, I thought what I liked about all of that was, it was however much someone can escape their class or their position or anything, you can't remove the essential odour of your origin and what you are. And I thought it became a really fascinating film about haves and have-nots.
Absolutely.
And about how, you know, with all the will in the world, you might be able to sort of sit at the table of the family that you've kind of usurped, but you can't become them.
No.
And I thought, you know, okay, I'm not au fait with Korean culture, but it's a tale. Maybe that's why it's had such a universal appeal.
Yeah.
You know, the haves and the have-nots, because there was a very meaningful and drawn out scene where the main poor family that has become parasites on the rich family, they return to where they live, and it's all flooded. And, you know, they escape the house, don't they? And it's all flooded and terrible things. You know,
I thought that was astonishing. I don't know how they did that. Was it a single take? Because they seem to be going down into hell.
No, but it was a set. I mean, I don't know whether it was a set or what, but I mean, it was just lots of water. And so where they lived in this sort of shanty town, or whatever it was, effectively flooded them out, didn't it?
Yeah, it did.
So we have a situation that's getting more and more subterranean. I thought it was a really clever film that it worked on so many different layers. You had the layer of the family, you then had the layer of our parasitic family, and then you had what I will call this strange twosome living in the very basement of the house.
Yeah, you did.
And so you had these three strata, almost like if you were to cut through stone and look at the thring sort of evolutionary periods of time.
Yeah, we don't know that the parasites are referring to the poor family. They could be referring to the rich family, a parasitical thing on society generally.
I think it was riffing on the idea of what is a parasite.
Well, that's what I mean.
Especially that scene where he's flicking the fly away.
That's exactly what I mean. They were riffing on that idea.
So having gone through these various stages of sort of comedy of manners and social class and sort of, you know, social mobility, class mobility, to thriller type, will they, won't they be exposed as having inveigled their way into this house, this life, this family, to discovery of a strange subterranean troglodyte-like husband who's married to the original housemaid.
Yeah.
We then go into the family come back prematurely from their break because the weather's awful, a bit like this storm.
Yeah.
And suddenly everyone almost has to clear the house. So the troglodyte and the original housekeeper are locked downstairs.
Yeah.
At that point, I thought she was dead.
Yeah, I think we all did.
And the family returned back to their homestead, which has been flushed out by the most enormous flood in the history of Korea.
Yeah.
So basically, so now a party is being developed.
Yeah.
With our main identifying family,
Yes.
knowing that there are two, potentially one certainly dead in the fucking basement.
Exactly. So, and I don't know what genre of film that is, but it's another one. I
Well,
felt
it was
at that
sort of
point.
reminding me of stuff like, I don't know, Edgar Allan Poe and the Telltale Heart.
Yes.
stuff going on beneath the floorboards.
The panic room and things like that.
Yeah, especially with moments where, like, the rich mum would tell the story of a son having fearing ghosts, and what he was actually seeing was a fucking person coming from the basement and eating.
Yes.
Do you remember that?
I know very well.
Yeah. The party happens.
The party does happen.
And what happens? I mean, this kind of makes the party scene in Get Out.
In actual fact, that whole scene reminded me slightly of Get Out.
Get Out.
Because mainly because of the menace.
Yeah.
It was so menacing because you could not. I could not think what was going to happen.
No.
I couldn't believe what was. I couldn't think what.
And ostensibly, that's the point at which, for me, it turned into a slasher film.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, there'd been a bit of kind of dull, thudding violence, which was pretty gruesome. Earlier, but then at this point, Troglodyte Man charges out from the basement. And proceeds to.
I can't remember now how he gets out of the basement. Does somebody go down into the basement?
Yeah, no, I think the son of the middle family does.
The son has a crisis of confidence.
He puts something around the son's neck, pulls him back, and then he ends up being. I mean, I love the fact that they had little kind of motifs like that bit of rock that the boy's friend at the beginning gave him that was supposed to give him wealth.
Yeah, and I thought that probably meant more to Korean maybe mind than ours. But even then, that spoke to the scene where they come down the steps and the thing in terms of strata. It was a strata thing, wasn't it, in that sense? And I thought that was, I mean, it kept giving me more and more.
Well, I also thought it also felt for me like it was riffing on the whole Hitchcockian MacGuffin thing.
Yes.
It's like, you know, they make a situated object. What's the significance of it? He ends up being killed by the thing that, you know, reputedly is going to bring wealth.
Oh, I'd forgotten the Hitchcock thing, but it was very Hitchcockian. Because certainly in that respect.
And it reminded me a lot at times of Hitchcock's film Rear Window, because it was playing with what vantage points and what you could and couldn't see through windows and through rooms. A bit like this house, open plan. What can you see? Wonderful scene where the rich family have come back and their kids camping in the garden. And the father's trying to crawl across the floor. It was quite a well choreographed. I mean, it's quite a logistically difficult film to make, because some narrative moments were critically based upon what someone could see from one position or not see. Do you know what I mean?
In a physical way.
In a physical way. So, and in a weird way, that appeals to the notion of the architecture of the house. It was only possible, this story, because of the architecture of the house. And in a sense, the original architect, who we are told about in the film, is the architect of everyone's demise.
Exactly.
Which is quite neat, isn't it?
It's very neat. And in terms of characterization, none of this, in the same way as it wouldn't have worked in a different environment, it wouldn't have worked without the mother of the rich family, who plays it superbly.
She's so good.
I mean, she's not a fool.
Good.
She's not a fool, but she's maybe naive, but she takes people on trust. But she is fantastic. She sort of keeps the whole thing. She keeps us believing in the whole thing.
Yeah, and I believed how sort of out of touch. You know, they cut to a couple of scenes of her with just her head on the table, and you just bought into that. I don't know. There were just some very. It was very crisp. It didn't feel too long. I thought it was very witty. I believed all the characters, and that's including the sort of language barrier and the fact that you're watching it through subtitles. I thought it was brilliantly shot, but not so overly shot and stylized in a way to get in the way of anything. You were kind of rooting for everyone.
From the halfway point to the end, I was also thinking with every passing second, oh gosh, it is as good as they're all saying. It is as good. I'm absolutely gripped, and it's giving me about 5 different genres of films, all of them good.
There was a point about 95 minutes into the film where, I don't know if this is a sign of getting older, I had a couple of tears rolling down my face. And I interrogated myself, and I was crying because I was in awe at how this filmmaker was managing to pull off so many different things all at the same time. I was moved by how skillful a film this was. And I thought
I was astonished.
It wasn't like a greedy feast of him over-delivering too much. It was subtly, cleverly, sensitively, wittily, gorily, if there's such a word, horrifically dealt with brilliantly. made you think about class and position, it made you think about aspiration, it made you think about living the lives that you can't live and all that sort of stuff as well.
Yeah.
And at the same time, it delivered some brilliant, I thought, top drawer genre filmmaking.
Yeah.
But lots of different genres all in one film.
Yeah.
I thought like you, I was kind of flabbergasted by how it was absolutely everything you were hearing everyone say it was.
Yes,
And I was
yeah.
like, thank God that's such a relief. It wasn't a disappointment.
One of the famous reviewers, sorry to interject, but who I have a great respect for, said he's seen it 4 times since it came out.
Right.
And each time he sees something different
Wow.
in it. And I think the little things that he gave us, like this smell that we've described, but it's impossible to sort of say how well that's in. And just another one, just as an example, that when they go back to the house which has been flooded, they're up to their waists in water and walking around, and the father sees his certificate and takes it. And I mean, it's heartbreaking.
Well, he sees a certificate, he sees the gold medal, or the medal that his wife has won for shot putting or
something ridiculous. And it's sort of like suddenly this family...
Yeah, and I thought it was very poignant on that, because her medal and his certificate showed the status they wanted.
Yes.
And felt they deserved, even right down to the forgery of Oxford University degrees and all that. You know, they were
You could go far, one of them
I think
said.
what it also proved was that the family that it was about, the middle family, the parasitical family, were an incredibly able, skillful, adept. They could have lived the life that family was living
which
in
I
the
think
house.
was
And I think that was the
of it.
point, and I think that was quite charming and sort of really quite sad.
Yeah. And
especially that sort of fake ending. Do you remember the fake
well,
ending?
Yeah, the ending, I thought just...
I thought it was very nifty.
I was just going to say, endings can be really difficult. And I'd sort of, about 5 minutes before it did end, I thought, I don't see how this can end.
I've never known a filmmaker so effortlessly indulge in giving us 2 possible endings and not make either one feel stretched.
No, exactly.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
He did it so well. He gave you the one, then pulled you back from it and gave you the other.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, you cheeky bastard.
Yeah, but
and he did it.
But bloody clever.
I'd give it 100 out of 100.
I would too.
Would you?
So I want to say the words, 100 out of 100.
Good.
It deserves every single thing that it's
It really
had.
does.
Yeah.
It really does. An absolute treat. And if you do go and see it, it's an absolute treat.
And it'll be interesting for us now to see what happens at the Oscars, because it won Best Film at BAFTAs, didn't it?
Yeah, and the Golden Globe.
And it'll be interesting, because now, as we've now seen it.
Yeah.
For more film and family fun, don't forget to click the subscribe button and make sure to click the bell to never miss an update.